another misconception I feel to look at today is this misconception about love. The misconceptions about love. Because I still get a lot of correspondence about this particular topic, about love and relationships. So I feel that we can discuss this a little bit today and see if there's more to discuss in your questions and whether we can tackle some of those. Let's look at love. What is it? Most of us spend a large part of our lives believing that love comes from the outside. Many of us still might believe that love actually comes from the other person. Love actually comes from the other person. This is the belief that we carry. But once we look at it, once we explore this, we see that love, like all other feelings, also emerges from within us. It is actually in service to us. So we find that it emerges within us. There will be a point where this feeling of love will become constant for you. It is already constant, but it will be discernible and perceived to be constant for you. And it is the same for all beings. Yet, most beings end up believing that love comes from another person around us. So let's look at why that happens. It happens because when there is a feeling of oneness, when the idea of separation goes away even for an instant, it is blessed by the presence of love. So in the play of the Leela, when we come across a certain being where for a few instants, for a few moments, this idea of separation just goes for a while and there is a sense of oneness, then this feeling of love arises. So that is why it is confused that the love is coming from the other person. It was only that the idea of separation was dropped for a few moments and this presence of love was discerned, but it leads to the confusion and the wrong conclusion that it is coming from the other person. So what we are pointing you to in Satsang is for you to let go of this idea of separation so that this oneness will be completely clear to you and it will be ever present. Then this presence of love will always be discerned anyway. And then you will see that it was always here and always arising here. Because what happens in the confusion, when we believe that it is coming from another person in front of us, then very quickly this love translates into need. It becomes a desire to be with that person. And the minute this love gets contaminated by this feeling of need or desperation or desire, then it loses its pure presence in some sense. It seems to lose its pure presence because it is replaced now with fear. Fear of losing the loved one. Can we see this? And this is what is called an attachment. So this instantaneous love which was felt gets replaced by the fear of losing the object of our love, and this becomes an attachment. And this becomes a very insane place to live. To live as an attached one is to live with fear, because we are always fearful of losing this attachment that we have, and if it feels threatened in any way, either through that being itself or any other person. If it feels that there is a threat, then anger comes. Hmm? Strong anger comes that tries to hang on to this attachment and not lose it. And if anger stays, then that anger gets translated into hate. So all this fear, anger, hate, all this comes from this attachment, which initially arose just because of a simple confusion that the love is coming from outside us and it is not arising from within us itself. And then it seems to become very, very sticky. So if you can understand that love is not need, and if there's a presence of need there, that means it has become contaminated and it has become a unhealthy attachment. And why I say unhealthy is because nothing that is phenomenal will stay. Everything that has come will go eventually. And even if it stays for the rest of your lifetime, how many years more is that? 50 years more? And then what? So find out what love really is. Find out this true oneness within your own self, to which this love is in service to. Don't believe that love is coming from outside you, or you need some external circumstances which will give you this love. And if you have this basic understanding, then you cannot suffer in relationships. Is this clear? If this is clear, and maybe we can make a separate highlight of this or a separate YouTube clipping of this, because there are many who suffer from this basic misconception about love, and this makes them suffer. Love is in service to you. It is not something that you need to chase. Remember that what is real is always present. If there is a chasing required, it is only illusory. And this does not mean that you have to give up any relationships. All this means is that it can all unfold in the most beautiful way without you having to apply your mind or believe your thoughts in terms of how to run your relationships. If we are not fearful about losing this feeling of love, then we can truly come from our heart in any relationship, because it is a fearless relationship. It is a free relationship. It is not bound by chains. It is not forced. It does not become a prison for anyone.